大家好. Today I'll be making a Chinese spring roll. Use American bacon and these black fungus. These I bought in an Asian supermarket here in Karlsruhe. And we'll also use 1 carrot for the filling. So first we take 4 pieces of the black fungus. And when you get them from the supermarket, they're in a shape like this, so dried. What you have to do is put them in a bowl. We take 4 of them. And all you need to do is to put in boiled water. It takes about 2 to 3 minutes until it's hydrated. So we leave it aside. And now we can clean this carrot. First we remove 2 ends of the carrot and we clean the outside to remove the skin. It's a typical Chinese spring roll. We use bacon because in China we use salted meat instead, and I can't find salted meat here in Karlsruhe, and bacon just works as fine, and it's easy to find here. And in Hong Kong, sometimes people use mince. I prefer bacon. Mince is, doesn't have a texture, the proper texture, but it's just my personal preference. Some people also use raw chicken or the pork, but I think it doesn't have the same amount of flavor, as it doesn't come out as good as bacon. And we just clean the skin away, and we have to cut them to thin strips, and I prefer to cut them instead of shredding them, because it doesn't come out too much water and dilute the filling. Also, it tastes better. Remove them. Okay. And I like to cut them to half first. It's about the length I'm going to use for the filling, and cut them to slices first. The thinner the better. It's easier later to put in the skin. Okay. Be careful, don't cut your hands. You can tell I'm pretty rough here, and it's about like this size. Okay. And you can try to cut them thinner if you want. Once they are done, we are going to fry them, stir fry them, like with the other ingredients. Will take a little while. And right now you can see the fungus is hydrated, looks double the size, and filled with water. and we're going to cut them too, just thin strips, and mix them together, the fungus and the carrots and the bacon. When you stir fry the carrots, they kind of shrink a bit, so you don't have to worry if you cut the carrots too big. You can see I've cut the whole carrot here, just thin strips. And then next we cut the fungus to similar size. You can tell they grow really big, and you have to clean the root a bit. They don't really taste good. And just cut them to similar strips sizes like the carrots, and you don't have to be really careful here. If it's symmetrical, you just put them together in one. And cut this one too. Okay. And depends on what kind of fungus you get. Sometimes you get this really small ones, then maybe you need to take more. But the ones I got from the market here, it's pretty big, and I like when it's bigger, it's a better texture. Okay, and then I still have two more here. Yeah, don't have much root. This one, just cut them. And they're pretty hot. Be careful, maybe you have to cool them first before cutting them, because they were sinked in boiling water first. Okay, now down here. Okay, now we need to fry them. Okay, and the other thing I forgot to mention is we're going to put fresh chives in it, and it just gives it a bit more flavor. In China we use yellow chives, but here I only can find the green one. But the theory is similar. You take a bunch, yeah, and you have to wash them. So I'm going to wash this first. Okay, I washed the chives here, and here the rest of the chives. You put a bit of water, they grow really quickly, you can reuse them later. And yeah, we cut these a bunch of chives to small pieces, about 1 centimeter long. And okay, here, and then now we need to use our stove. Okay. Yeah. I plugged it in. Okay. Here we use a flat pan. We give it a medium to high heat. Okay, this stove heat up really quickly, and we use the vegetable oil. Here is a sunflower oil, but you can use any kind of vegetable oil. Just tiny little bit, because the bacon has a lot of fat in it, and when you stir fry them, it comes out. Here is the one I bought in the market. I like this bacon strips. You can also get thin slices bacon, but here you need this kind of cube long strips. You put them all in. For this recipe, you don't need any salt. This bacon is kind of salty already, and I need to get I got my spatula. Stir them, spread them in the pot, and wait until the fat comes out. Takes about 2 to 3 minutes. The color of the bacon changes once they are done, turns to a pale whiter, lighter color. And you can tell when it's ready. You can already smell the bacon. I think it's about ready. Okay. Now you put the shredded carrots and the black fungus. Put them all in at one time. It takes about 2 minutes too. It doesn't take too long. Just have to cook through the ingredients, especially the carrots tend to get hard when it's raw. This quantity of filling can make about 20 spring roasts, but the spring roasting I could get here is really small, that's why. But in China you get really big ones, and usually in a round shape. Here is in square. Maybe 1 more minute. Now you can turn off the heat first, and then put in the chives. You can even eat chives raw, so we don't really need to overcook them. Okay. And stir it in. If you don't like chives, you can also use other herbs or veggies to replace it. Bean sprouts is a good option too, but it has a lot of water, so when you make it, you try to dry them first. The chives, okay. Here is our spring roll filling. You can put them in the pot. Okay, so we take this away. The stove too. Here we have the fillings. It looks quite a lot. It's really glossy and lots of heat in it. You can let it cool for a bit. And here we have the skin, the spring roll skin pastry, whatever you call it. And when you get them from the market, it always comes in this bag. And probably wouldn't use the whole bag one time. Here I used a few previously already, and you can see they come in different brands, but this is just the one here I could find, and they are pretty small, about hand size, my hand, pretty small, and there are lots of layers. All you have to do is to try to separate them, because it's a frozen spring roll skin. It's a bit hard, so be careful when you try to separate them. They're really thin. I think they are made from flour, but not quite sure. Yeah, and you separate them first. Let's say we do 10 of them first. Yeah. They all stuck together, so you have to be really careful. Don't break them. Yeah. You also can use these skins to make a dessert with ice cream. I will make another YouTube video on that. But here we just make the traditional spring roll. And you can see they're really thin. How many we have now? 6, 4 more. And if you don't know how to do this, you can get a chunk and try to split them in the middle, so you wouldn't damage them. Okay, we have about 10 now, and now I'll show you how to roll them, how to make a spring roll. We take one sheet, we have our filling here, and you need a little bit water. Here is tiny little bit water, maybe I'll get a bit more. Okay. So we have water ready, our filling ready, and our skin. All we need to do is to take a small portion of the filling. It doesn't have to be too much, otherwise you will break the skin. So it wouldn't look too good anymore. And don't put too much bacon in one because it's kind of salty. And you put at the bottom side of the skin and you try to lift it up. It's a bit like rolling a sushi roll, and you roll it, close it, make it a round shape, and here you have two open ends from two sides, and you fold it inside to close it. Okay, here we have a filling, carrot stuck here. Look at me. Okay, you can kind of stick your finger in it, and you fold it. You fold this side too, and once again. And then when we want to close it, we take a bit water. Some people say you mix a bit flour in it and they fold it, seal it better. But for me, water is enough, and you fold it this way. Then here is one spring roll, and we're going to deep fry them later. So I'll make 10 of them now. Another one. You want a good mixture of bacon and other veggie in it. Don't be too greedy and put too much filling it and you break it. Spread them out a bit and turn it and fold it. Fold it. Fold it here too. And here. Water. Doesn't need too much, just enough to seal it. Okay, second one. Okay, I just made about 15 spring rolls from the filling I just made, and we're going to fry them. You can choose to deep fry them, but I find a bit less oil is healthier than too much. So, and you have to do this fairly quick because the skin gets dry really quickly. I think mostly because it's a frozen skin. We put it to low and medium heat. Put a bit more oil than usual, so we don't have to fold it, turn it too often, and we wait until it's hot. Okay, and when we put in the spring onion, we put in this side where you seal the spring onion on the bottom, so you can be sure it wouldn't be open later, because the oil is not so hot yet. Could wait a bit longer, turn it a bit higher. Okay, and you can put the rest in too. Starts bubbling already. We put all of them in one side down. We fold them later. And all the skins you didn't use, it's better to seal them in a bag so they don't get dried quickly. You can use it another time. Or if the filling you didn't finish, you can also put them in the fridge. It lasts maybe 2-3 days, no problem. skin will become crispy later and turn to gold in color. Good. Right, put all of them in. Okay. Be careful, don't burn yourself. And you can test it, see if it's cooked to one side to test it. See if it changes color already. But it doesn't take too long. And don't put the heat too high and then you burn them. See here, it's sealed. Then you could turn to the other side. Turn the heat lower a bit. Oops. See, it changes color really quickly once the heat is up. So don't forget to turn them. Some of them are just put too much filling and opens itself a bit. When you make them, try not to put so much. Oops. See this one open. The skin is really thin, so it's better to put less filling in. Okay, but doesn't really matter because the filling it's not fluid, so stay the shape. Okay, and turn to low heat. It's a bit too hot. Okay, we can put our cooked ones. These ones down. You can set them aside. I'm pretty satisfied with how it turns out. This one. Okay, these are some of the spring roll I made. You can see they're super hot and golden brown, crispy outside and crunchy inside. Okay, and how can you eat a spring roll? The traditional way is to use vinegar. These brown vinegar. Unlike Japanese vinegar, this vinegar is a lot soft taste, and it's made from grains. I always choose this brand anyway, doesn't matter where I am. and you pour a bit, don't need too much. Just give it a savory taste. And here is chili sauce. It was in the fridge, but this brand is really good too. You find it in China as well. This one has garlic in it. I think it tastes better than the Thai sweet and chili sauce, but just my personal opinion. You can mix it, or you want, you can dip in it. Both okay. And I'll just try one. Here is one spring roll. Dipping them, or you can just use your finger. Okay. And it's really crunchy, and you can see it's filled. You can see the chives, bacon, carrots, and fungus in it. Thank you for watching, and if you like this recipe, you can find it in my blog. Here is a link you can click to. Thank you.